There is nothing like the vulnerability that can be felt while sitting in a stylish chair. Paired with cannabis, conversations are full of truth. So what better way to get to know extraordinary women and their relationship with Mary Jane than to slay with Puff and Parlay? Stephanie Arakel was destined from a young age to be a leader and advocate within the cannabis industry, rising to the top of her game one strain at a time.
You know, Stephanie Cakes, when you say that in the industry, people know who you are. They really have a respect for you, and I really think that if more people knew your full story, it would just really make other people feel like you can start from here and look where I am now, and kind of give us an idea of where you started and where you are now.
Absolutely. Being a woman in the space, I've actually been in this space for 17 years, and a lot of people don't know that. I come from the legacy market. I had affiliations, just for legality terms, with a delivery service, which is where a lot of people who come from the legacy market know me from. Graduating from legacy into, California going legal, I teamed up with a couple buddies and was introduced to the guys at Viola. I came in with Viola. I helped them launch California, which then turned into multiple other states and Canada. And then COVID hit, some weird things happened. And I ventured off into doing a little side project, and from that side project, I'm now the Vice President of Marketing at Khalifa Kush.
Okay, wow.
Snaps, snaps, snaps.
And
that's
some
like a very watered down version of what my cannabis journey has been like, but yeah, that's how I got here.
Well, when did you first fall in love with cannabis?
Oh boy. So, after high school, or actually during high school, I actually moved out of my parents' house.
In high school?
Not by choice.
Okay.
And it's all about the survival game. And so I started making edibles because I went to culinary school. And in doing so, I obviously needed to move these edibles, and I started selling them at my college.
Nice.
Which trickled into a whole clientele, and then turned into my delivery service / I'm baking for children, and I have a secret menu for their mommies.
I love it. Where were you at that time? We needed your number then, for sure. I mean, I'm happy we have it now.
Yes,
we still need it.
Yeah, I was fucking people.
Can you start baking again?
I know.
Say that.
You can say whatever you want here.
Back then there wasn't any real forms of testing, so I was fucking these moms up. They were high as shit.
I bet you they were way better moms for it too.
Probably. My weed bakery stuff actually started outdoing the regular stuff.
Wow.
Which is hilarious because I went to Le Cordon Bleu, so I was making eclairs and just
stuff that wasn't even thought of. Yeah.
Most people, when you think of an edible, especially back in 2000, you're thinking a brownie.
Right. Yeah, that was the only thing.
Yeah, no. we were doing all kinds of bonbons, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
I can't really do edibles, but CeCe loves them. I wish I could. They just don't.
Yeah.
Don't work with my body.
Yep. And then the edibles evolved into a full-blown delivery, and fast forward, legalization happened, and I ended up working with a huge brand that I helped create and blow up, and now I'm at Kick It.
Now, I like to call, I know they call you Stephanie Cakes, but I like to call you the nose because I feel like you know, and you know the the next strain, you know who's the best growers,
You know the best weed.
And so where did you take your love of like food? Is it similar as far as taste buds and your smell, and how, you know, what is it that really got you into, you know, specifics like that, made you want to be into the details? Because a lot of people necessarily aren't.
So, baking is very time consuming. And I, back then, could charge only so much for, you know, whatever I'm baking. I learned very quickly that I could smell different terpenes and like identify different things from different plants, and just started educating myself a lot, and realized obviously moving larger units of flour was more lucrative than me being in the kitchen all day. And I just became very acclimated to the plant, and she's kind of like my best friend now. So when I open certain packs or certain foods, I can pretty much identify, oh, there's a lot of like linalool in here, there's a lot of whatever, and I can pinpoint which family specifically of, you know, where that strain is coming from.
It's like you're a sommelier of weed.
Literally.
That's phenomenal. I really love that. I need to get my nose sharp like that.
I know. You need to take a class.
It takes a lot of, you know, opening and smoking and consuming, and just like, I'll be in and out of grows so much back then, and of course on the legal side, that people will just bring me things and it's like, is this good? Is this not good? People will bring me things and I'll look at it and be like, there's mold in there, before even like opening up an egg. Like,
you definitely are the first person that comes to my mind when I'm like, I don't know if this is good weed. We need to call Steph. She'll know,
or she'll just give it to us too.
Yeah,
whenever we get something from Steph, we know it's gonna be
top notch. And that's great. That's a happy thing.
Yeah, today we're smoking Green Dragon, which I love. Green Dragon is, I love those guys. They've been around for a long time, and every single one of their strains just smacks.
It really is definitely a hit in so many realms. To me, the price point, the consistency.
Man.
There's, I mean, you just pull up to their dispo and it's like, wow. And that's really unheard of nowadays.
I gotta set up a tour for you guys. So like,
yes, please. Okay, we've never been in a grow before.
What?
No. So definitely have to do that. Like, yeah.
Yes.
That's like our next mission. Like, we want
done
and done. Yes. So what would you say is the role that cannabis plays in your life?
Every role.
Everything.
My life is fully encompassed by cannabis, from my 9 to 5 to my 5 to 5, the love of my life is in my life because of cannabis.
And we're in your life because of cannabis.
Yeah. A lot of my friends, you know, are because of cannabis. My livelihood, like literally every aspect of my life is weed.
That's a beautiful thing. I used to get so much shit back in the day from so many people because my life is definitely cannabis 24/7.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I've learned over the time, that's why we started just especially being mothers. I have an 18-year-old and a 10-year-old. CeCe has a 9-year-old. And it was just so, you know, the negative stigma that comes with it. And it was just like, how are we gonna do this? What are we gonna do?
But we crept out.
There's so many ways to consume now that, like, the whole, oh, I'm smoking a joint, oh, it's weed. It's like, girl, put that 5 milligram edible in your mouth and shut
the fuck up.
Try it some way. Did your parents know because of your, you know, you being in this business, and when and how did they find out?
So I started smoking after I left my parents' house. I was such a goody in my parents' house because I was terrified of them. and I'm a first generation American, so
yeah, it's like,
the
no.
rules in my house were very, very different than, you know, Sally in 3rd grade that I went to school with. You know, it was very different.
You were held to a different standard.
Yeah, it was, if I came home with a B on my report card, it was, like,
The end of the world.
yeah, it was the idea of even thinking about weed, let alone a drink, was just like,
Oh, even a drink.
yeah, no way.
I say that because like drinking is so much more accepted
Right.
than cannabis.
Yeah.
So, you know?
So I didn't really like fully start smoking until I was out of the house, and it was actually closer to like 18, 19. And then once I started smoking, I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I never stopped.
Why would you, right? Why stop a good thing?
Right.
I agree. I think that was part for the journey was how can something so good be so bad?
Right.
You know, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate that a lot of mothers actually have to have that conversation with themselves, thinking, am I a bad mom because I do something to self-medicate that is actually helping me cope with everyday life, deal with the craziness of being a mother and children and other parents and teachers and whatever. And then you have these other moms that are like, give me a bottle of wine, and they can't even operate a vehicle. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's usually not just a
not that I'm
bottle,
saying
it's
smoke
a
and go
few.
drive.
Right.
No, get a driver. Uber. What was that one? Lyft? I don't know. Yeah.
Get a driver.
Get a driver.
What are you
Call
like?
someone.
What are you most proud of that you have done so far within the industry? What is like your finest moment thus far, and why?
Wow, that's a loaded question. That's a really good question, actually. Because, not to toot my own horn, but I am that bitch.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
You are allowed, my dear. You are allowed. Toot that bitch.
From running a delivery service to, a lot of people don't know, I actually chose the Iverson strain and launched. I partnered with the guys at Green Dragon, actually. They grew the very first 96 strain that I sniffed out.
The nose.
The nose.
Because she knows.
I've launched various strains with actually multiple companies, done hundreds of events, put on hella people. I've got, that's such a loaded question.
Do you think when you started, when you were baking, that you would ever accomplish all of these things? Do you ever sit back and be like, oh my god?
Every now and then I'll go through my phone and like look at like past videos and everything. No way did I think 17 years ago I would be for doing the marketing.
That is huge.
Yeah, between marketing for Wiz, blowing Viola up, running a delivery that was all female drivers for quite some
did
time.
not know that.
Yeah.
Female is the
Surviving in this space. It's such a male-dominated space.
I was just about to say, how is that?
Actually, like being respected for like what I'm capable of outside of what I look like. You know, we're not here in just bongs and thongs. It's
yeah.
there's a lot more going on here. Yeah, I'd say there's a lot that I'm proud of for sure. Those are probably my top ones.
Well, I know in following a lot of the brands that you have mentioned, your drops have been the most fire, I will say. So
I like to party.
Yeah.
I think as a woman in the space, our attention to detail is very different than, most of the men. And when I do drops, I like to think about every aspect of from is the flower amazing, which it needs to be, to what kind of accessories do we have? Do we have merch? Do we have bud tenders? Do we have flowers? Do we have bongs? Shout out Hemper for these bongs today.
Yes, thank you.
Just everything comes down to like the last detail.
It's all in the details, that's for sure. And I think a lot of those are missed in this space.
Absolutely.
So it's time that we step up and we start bringing that to the forefront and really just doing the damn thing, you know. Cannabis is a female.
Yeah, the plant is.
So I think she does well being led by a female.
It's time.
Fortunately, where I'm at, they do respect me, and it's a great environment,
situation.
But I've heard some horror stories and I've seen some horror stories take place, and I'm just very blessed to be where I'm at today. And it's mostly because of how hard I worked, but also it's that attention to detail.
Yes. Well, we thank you for coming today, and we also just love the detail that you have put into this space and just everything that you bring to the space. And we just really want to honor you today. And you are that woman. You are her. So
We must be doing something right if we're in your circle. So we appreciate that, you know.